Days after India was degraded as partly free by the Freedom House report, Sweden-based We Dem Institute has now classified India as an electoral autocracy. An electoral autocracy means that people in India are less free today than they were earlier. Remember, autocracy literally translates into a system of government where one person has absolute power, and in this case, it's Modi ji. Autocracy is more or less like dictatorship. The report by We Dem Institute says that India has restrictions on multiple aspects of democracy, such as freedom of speech and on societal groups or the pressure groups. The report that previously classified India as an electoral democracy has now said, and I quote, "The world's largest democracy turned into an electoral autocracy with a population of 1.37 billion citizens." Now, this comes just barely days after US-based Freedom House in its 2021 report downgraded India's status from a free country to a partly free country for the very first time in history. What does it really mean? Well, it means that there is rising violence and discriminatory policies affecting the minority population. The crackdown on expression of dissent by media, academics, civil society groups and protesters under the Narendra Modi government has increased. That people are being punished for speaking up. That there is misuse of laws on sedition, defamation and counter-terrorism to silence those who are critical of the government. In fact, the report says that India is becoming a censorship country as bad as Pakistan and worse than neighboring countries like Bangladesh and Nepal. This has specifically happened during the Modi regime. So does it really mean that India is losing its democratic country status or its democracy and the world is ganging up on us? Let's take a look at some of the hard facts. Since BJP assumed power, 7,000 people have been charged with sedition so far. There has been a 72% increase in the number of arrests that have been made under the draconian Unlawful Activities Prevention Act or the Anti-Terrorism Law in 2019 as opposed to 2015. Of the total number of people killed in cow vigilantism, 86% were Muslims, and majority of these attacks happened in the last few years of the Modi government. In fact, of the 53 people killed just last year in February of 2020 in Delhi riots, most of them were Muslims. Nearly 70% of the cases of internet shutdowns globally happened in India in 2022. Out of the 155 instances of internet disruptions, 109 were in India alone. Now, these are some of the figures that do not look very good at the face of it. Remember, India is the largest democracy in the world, and in a democracy, political power or control is exercised by the people, either directly or indirectly. A democratic country is one where you have the freedom to put forward your opinion without fear. You have the right to eat what you want, you have the right to express your opinion and choose the religion you want to practice without the fear of persecution. If the facts today are contrary and critical of India's democratic image, maybe it's time to acknowledge that not all is well.